Welcome to week 2 of MPAI 600 here at Georgetown University School of Continuing Studies. Just start off with announcements. Again, we're starting off with, the effort's good. I know this is probably everyone's enthused, and many of you, it's your first time back in school, so I know the effort is pretty high. Please keep that up going forward. I don't want the effort to drop off. I saw a lot of your posts. I think they're pretty well, especially given our compressed cycle. So please keep up the effort. It gets a little bit harder going forward, but again, if you keep up this enthusiasm, we'll be fine. Again, please post by Thursday. I know it was a compressed week, so it was a little bit difficult, but if you post by Thursday, that gives people the weekend to interact with with your classmates. I know it's a lot. Sometimes it can be pretty intense with a lot of reading, especially in some of these upcoming weeks. But if you post by Thursday, we should be good to go. So current events, just like you do current events every week, I will do current events in these YouTube sessions. And obviously the Soleimani killing is what the hot point of it is the last week. Obviously there was a killing, there was a response. What I want you to pay attention to was that interface between intelligence, or in this case, national security team, and policymakers, Congress. There are some issues with the intel not being briefed in a manner that was to the satisfaction of policymakers. That is a key point as we go forward. That issue, that interface, comes up over and over again, whether it's in the Iraq WMD case study or the other case studies that we're going to talk about later on. So that's what again, focus on that. Maybe the news has petered out a little bit on that, but that story is pretty a key point that will press on a theme in this course. So review of last week, I think most people understood the UBL capture and understood how the ints were used to cross-queue to get the appropriate target. And again, the signals intelligence from the courier tracked to bin Laden. Most of you highlighted that. The original interrogation that was used to actually identify who the courier was. And then the GeoInt, the overhead imagery to confirm that, yes, it was a family of 4, which matched with bin Laden's family of 4, to confirm that location was actually where UBL might be. And there's other aspects of that, but really those cross-queue of those 3 pieces of information led to UBL. And hopefully what you take from this is that it's not just one intelligence int, for lack of a better term, but it's all of them used to cross-queue to get a particular fix on an intelligence problem. And then you saw the intelligence cycle. I call it amended because there's different definitions. There's the 4 classic ones, which is requirements, collection, analysis, dissemination. But Lowenthal had his own viewpoints. I had my own viewpoints. And the key thing to think about going forward is, where does this cycle break down that it causes failure? And we're going to look at a lot of historical case studies for the next few weeks. But we're not just memorizing the intelligence cycle, but we're applying it to different case studies and ask the question, where did it break down? Here we saw success, but otherwise we're going to look at failure. So week 2 is coming up. You have your collection strategies due at the end of this week. Go ahead and pause me, and I give you an example in the second part of this email. Okay, so you saw what I was looking for. And again, what I want you to do is really just put pen to paper and look at an intelligence problem, or a national security problem, law enforcement problem, cyber problem, from an intel perspective. That's what the purpose is. I want you to be creative, think through. But again, this is designed for you to kind of look at whatever problem you're working at and facilitate a intelligence issue with it. So I want you to develop requirements, apply the intelligence disciplines, and analyze the pitfalls in the collection cycle. About 1,000 pages. Shouldn't be a massive project on your behalf, but just a key point going forward. So if there's questions on it, please let me know. We can talk, we can Skype, we can talk over the cell phone if there's any issues. And again, yeah, be creative. This is kind of put pen to paper and try and just think through a particular issue. So your readings, again, the Lowenthal Chapter 6, which will talk about requirements. The Intelligence Tradecraft Primer, that will explain all the analytical flaws and biases that you might be victims of for intelligence analysis. And then the documentaries, the PBS Frontline, the Confessions, where you will see the intelligence failures going forward. And what I want you to do is take the theory brought up in the Lowenthal and the Intelligence Tradecraft Primer about confirmation bias and vividness bias and all those factors and apply it to this documentary, this case study. You have to do that in your write-up for this week in order to get full credit. So I want you to show me that in this upcoming reading. So where did the detectives and law enforcement agencies have biases that resulted in essentially a false conviction? So with that being said, let me know if there's any issues, and I look forward to your discussion posts.